Hello student, I am Dr. Bharat, Assistant Professor, Department of Geography, KRTR, BH Commerce, AM Science, popularly known as KTHM College. Student friends, warmly welcome you today's class. We are talking about GGDT-114, Principle of Population and Settlement and Geography. Now paper number is 4 and topic name is Rural Settlement. Now in this topic will be discussed on definition, classification of villages. Now today we are going to the learn of this topic. Topic name is definition, classification of villages. Now student, what is the size and spacing of cities? A great deal with interest have been shown the geographers say the relationship between the town and cities, different size and their spacing in the landscape. Implicit in the such studies is the assumptions there is so short order or logic underlying the size of the relationship in spatial distribution of towns. It is assumed that settlement do not grow up to the haphazard and random manner, that is the measurable degree order to pound of the size and spacing. These are the different concepts. Will be discussion from the classification of villages and definitions. Here, the topic number 7, the name of the topic is rural settlement. Now, in this topic, we will be cover first point is definitions, classification of villages. Second point is size and spacing of villages. Nearest neighbor analysis. Then concept of dispersion and nucleation. Then factors affecting of dispersion and nucleation. These are the uh, 5 topic in this cover. In the topic number name is rural settlement. Now will be discussion from the first of all the what is meant by the town, what is meant by the village. A group of houses and associated builders and larger than the hamlet, than the smaller of town situated in rural area, it is called as a village. Village means a group of houses and associated with buildings larger than hamlet, means very important here, the group of house associated with buildings larger than hamlet and smaller than town situated in a rural area, it is called as a village. Now a small community of group, and another one more definition here, a small community or group of the houses in rural area larger than an hamlet and usually smaller than towns, it is called as a village. There is simple definitions. A group of houses in rural area larger than hamlet and smaller than town, it is called as a village. Now another one more definition, a terrestrial area having the status of a village, especially as a unit of local government. Now a settlement usually larger than a hamlet and smaller than town, it is called as a very simple definitions with larger than hamlet and smaller than towns. Now the resident of the villages, another one more definition, the resident of the villages. Here these are the definitions of the year. Now the classification of villages. Now different classification are the basis on the basis of structure. First one on the basis of structure, second one is on the basis of residence, on the basis of organization, on the basis of land ownership. These are the 4 topic will be covered from the classification of settlement. Now one by one on the basis of structure. Now first one, the nucleated villages. In these villages, it is the common pattern of settlement, mostly the discriminable paddy and growing up areas, means nucleated settlement. In the paddy area, growing in this paddy area will found it the nucleated settlement villages. In these types of villages, homes and farmers are clustered in together. Now there is a land is located outside of the village and varying from the distance. Now their livestock are often housed along with them and nearby them. These are the some characteristics of nucleated villages. Now this type of villages are characterized by residential proximity, neighborhood, community feeling, etc. Now on the basis of structure, linear villages. Now this type of villages, houses built is parallel from the row. Each house is surrounded by the small garden. The paddy field are the distance from the houses. The pattern of settlement units of the social advantage, residential closeness, economic advantage, and living of the one hands. And another one more thing on the basis of structure, they dispersed villages. These villages in which the dwelling places of the village lay scattered or diffuse is called as dispersed villages. These villages have no definite structure of the swamp. This type of villages are found in hilly areas. Now mixed villages. Another one more based on the basis of the dispersed and mixed villages. In the mixture of the nucleated and dispersed pattern of settlements also found in here. In these types of villages settlement, there is no larger compact settlement of the houses, which is surrounded by the few small hamlet at the distances. Now, this type of settlement can be seen both of plain as well as the hilly areas. This is a mixed type of settlement. Now, go to the next one is on the basis of residence. Now, the migratory villages. Now, here people live with a few movement or so for other seasons. There is a collect their roads, natural resources, but when the food supply from the place is listened, then they shift to another a place where they can find out adequate amount of the foods. For example, J was find out the types of villages among the tribal society shifting cultivation. This is a migratory village on the residence. Now, semi-permanent agriculture villages. Now, in this semi-permanent agriculture villages, in the semi-permanent agriculture villages, people reside for few years at a particular place of migrate to another place due to the exhaustion of the productivity of lands. Now, the duration of residence is more as compared to migratory types of villages. Now, next one is on the basis of residences, semi-permanent agriculture villages. In this type of villages, people keep animals and cow, goat, but is not cultivated in the land of agriculture for agriculture. Now, they burn down to small trees and bush, sow the seeds over the earth and gives some crop up after the rainfall. This is when the people find out that land is not yielding, require amount of food grains. They leave the place for another and new settlements. Now, permanent agriculture villages. Now, in permanent agriculture villages, people live permanently for generation to generation. Now, the development of villages, organization, social relation with their own villages. Generally, they do not change their living places, place of cultivation. Here, the villages, permanent households are created. These are the some permanent agriculture villages. Now, on the basis of organization, now cooperate villages. Now, in these types of villages, land is owned by individual and people pool their resources together in common cultivation and farming. Now, generally, cooperative houses are organized to supply them their necessary communities. Corporate villages are also seen in India. Semi-collective villages, like in such villages, land belong to the collective bodies. All means of production and resources are owned by collectively. The people work together for production of food grains and other essential goods for their consumptions. They get the monthly and annual dues fixed according to the income of the villages. These are the semi-collective villages. Mean now the income of villages is not associated with the number of workers. Number of hours works by the number of a particular family. The families received the quota according to the numerical strength of the family. This is the semi-collective villages. These are the organization of on the basis of organization is cooperative villages and semi-collective villages. Now, on the basis of organization, collective villages. Now, in this type of villages live with common settlements whereby the property is collectively owned. All the arrangements are done and collective on the basis. Members of the villages only render the labor on the common pool, get the all necessary necessaries of life, food, clothing, housing, education, etc. There is a common dining hall, common store, communal kindergarten in the village. The old and disabled person is also maintained from the common part. As a whole, such types of villages give the full security for the whole life of person, its children and dependents. Now, on the basis of land ownership, landlord villages. Okay, in such a villages, land is owned by the individual family or few member of family is not a landlord. The landlord possesses all the rights over the land but give this land of tenants. The landlord has imposed rent on the land which is a tenant usually pay. Landlord gives a certain percentage of rent to the kings or government and keep a good percentage of themselves. Now, such type of villages exist in India before the abolitions of the intermediary in agriculture sectors. Now, land ownership in the Migratory villages. Okay, in the Migratory villages, farmers are the owner of the land and they cultivated it. They directly pay the rent of government without any intermediary. Such villages is known as villages where the land is owned by the riots and cultivators. Now, these are the some discussion with the definition and classification of settlements. Now, student will be discussed. Now, today's any doubt, any query, ask anytime. Write a mail bharatgadak@teachmcollege.ec.in. Student, today we stop here. Next lecture will next continue. Next point topic will be cover. Okay, good day, bye bye.